And we are live. I am not supposed to record on Sundays, guys, because the rule is that I can't wear makeup on Sunday. And here I am in front of your faces, unmade up on a Sunday. At least you guys get to see my new glasses. Yay. But yeah, I'm here. We took a week off. We took a week off, and I know you guys are probably like, damn, I missed my chaotic show. I'm sorry, but like sometimes a girl has to rest. Sometimes a girl needs her sleep. And also there was nothing much going on. I don't want to say there was nothing much going on. There wasn't a lot of things going on that I wanted to talk about in this sphere that was going on. So that was happening. I do want to make a note just because anybody questions this. I will not be talking about Perez Hilton and his mental breakdown on the interwebs. It's triggering for a lot of people. And what he did on live it didn't pop up on my social media. My friend messaged me and was like, basically block everything Perez Hilton because it'll trigger you. And so if anybody had to see the self-harm that was not covered and was very visible while he was on live, then I want to say sorry because that can be really triggering. And I know that a lot of us have something to say about Perez Hilton requesting to basically heal in privacy because he's never given anybody the privacy to heal. But sometimes the hardest lessons to learn are the ones where we have to learn them ourselves by going through it. And hopefully from this journey, he learns to give people a little bit more care and grace. I don't know, but you guys know that I do not speculate on people's mental illnesses or things like that. That's just not me. That may be Perez Hilton. That's not me. So I just want to give you guys that heads up. Ooh, things have been chaotic, but let's run our fun little intro and then let's go. This episode of Basically Unbothered is brought to you by Sister Sense Candle Co. If you're the kind of person who wants your home to smell like a haunted library, an enchanted forest, an ancient cathedral, or the coziest autumn evening imaginable, you're going to love this. Sister Sense Candle is a woman-owned Michigan fragrance studio handcrafting soy candles, perfume oils, incense, and home fragrances inspired by folklore, gothic romance, and the beauty of the natural world. Every product is made with small batches with clean burning soy wax, phthalate-free fragrance oils, and thoughtfully chosen ingredients to make scents that make everyday life feel just a little more magical. Whether you're setting the mood for your next reading session, writing your novel, or simply winding down after a long day, there's a scent waiting for you. You can shop online or find Sister Scents Candle Co. at markets, festivals, and workshops across Michigan. Be sure to check them out and tell them Basically Unbothered sent you. It like sat for a second. Hey, Unbothered fam, and welcome back to another episode of Basically Unbothered Recapped. We got shit. We got shit to talk about because the world's been interesting. There's certain things I'm not going to talk about. Like I said, I'm not going to talk about Perez Hilton. We're not going to talk about Ariana Grande. I don't know. We are going to talk about Ariana Grande because we're talking about her new album, but we are not going to be talking about the speculation about her body. I am sad that she has made the announcement that she's going to step away from the public eye. I am more sad that she's not going to do Sunday in the Park with George because her and cannot remember what his name is, but the actor who played Fiero from Wicked, they have such good chemistry and I love them together and they're such good friends. And so I do feel like we're going to be robbed of that, but I'm happy that she's choosing herself over everything. And after she dropped this fire of a fucking album, she deserves it. Let's see what's going on with me. Nothing. I am getting ready to do another vendor event pop up at Urban Rest for the Indie Author Bookstore. I'm really excited. I liked going to Urban Rest. I also like that they gave me a free drink ticket so that I could drink wine. Oh, guys, I'm Afro-Caribbean. Leave me alone. Wine is like my water. No pun intended. But I am excited to do another vendor event. I got new books in my store. I recorded like 3 podcasts. Well, this is going to be the 4th one this week. And there's so many amazing topics coming up for you guys for Basically Unbothered OG. So we're going to have a topic from this author who wrote his own memoir about how he was addicted to drugs, fled to Mexico, and somehow found his way in a Sinaloa cartel. That interview with him was so fascinating. But then we also have an interview coming up about AI in a thoughtful, ethical, moral way to help women in business. We have a conversation about setting your boundaries in spiritual sense. And then we also have a 2-parter that's going to be coming up. I sat down and had an interview with the lovely Persephone Rose. She is a beautiful trans woman, and we sat down and talked about what modern womanhood will look like when we finally embrace this all that's under the women's sphere or the umbrella. So we have some really amazing topics coming towards you, and I'm also working to bring you more. I have also been on other people's podcasts, and so I'm waiting for all of that to come out because it's going to be so fucking exciting. Only one of them I've done 4. Only one of them have come out now, so I'm waiting for all of them to drop. And other than that, I've been taking a month. I'm taking a month off from work. I hope to get in some writing. I know how Allegiance War is supposed to end. I just have to sit down and do it. And sometimes when you know it's going to end, it's sad because the ending is not, it's not a happy ending. I'm so sorry to those who love my books, but the ending is just not a happy ending. And sometimes that's life. I already know how the 4th book is supposed to start. So that's beneficial. But other than that, I've just been trying to enjoy taking time off. Sometimes you do have to take time off for your mental health. And that's really important. And that is going to lead us into our first topic. What if the problem isn't that you need to work harder, plan better, or somehow become an even more optimized version of yourself? What if you're just exhausted from living in survival mode? If you're a high achieving woman, entrepreneur, or navigating a career transition and you're ready to break free from systematic burnout, hypervigilance, and the constant pressure to perform, Thoughtful Thorough's 3-month mentorship might be exactly what you need. This is a one-on-one mentorship designed to help you move beyond the usual make a vision board and drink water approach to self-care. We're talking intuitive strategy paired with deep somatic spiritual practices, including psychic work, theta healing, Sekam Reiki, breath work, and yoga. The goal? To help you unpack those subconscious contracts you've inherited around fear and productivity, step out of survival mode, and create a deeper sense of nervous system safety. Because you deserve to lead, create, work, rest, and exist without feeling like your worth depends on how much you accomplish. If you're ready to stop performing your way through life and start building one that actually feels like yours, visit thoughtfulthorough.com and book your free consultation. You'll fill out a quick intake form, and from there, you can explore whether the mentorship is the right fit for you. That's Thoughtful Thorough, and honestly, your nervous system has been waiting for this meeting. Okay, we are back, and we have matcha. So let's get into our first topic of the day. So we were talking about celebrities and mental health, and it has just been announced that Sophia is stepping away from KATSEYE. Are we ready to know why Sophia is stepping away from KATSEYE? For her mental health. This might sound familiar to some of you because that is the same reason that we've heard for the last, I don't know how many months, that Manon has stepped away from KATSEYE and she is on a hiatus. So now KATSEYE, which is a group that features 6 culturally different girls, are 2 girls down. And I believe they're getting ready to go on tour. Let's see. I'm pretty sure they are getting ready to go on tour. And it's just what I don't know what HYBE x Geffen is doing, but whatever they're doing, they're not doing it right because something is wrong to me if 3 or 2 of your members are on hiatus for their mental like sanity. Like, what are you doing as a company that is making it this way? Or like, are you doing things that are protecting these girls from feeling this way? Those are important things that we have to talk about. Like, what's going on that these girls aren't being protected? Because as a company, isn't part of your job as producers and, record owners, isn't part of your job to protect these girls? So what the fuck is happening over here? I mean, obviously I care about Sophia. We all know that Sophia was one of the girls that we've been noted that people said were closer to Manon, as well as Yunche. And so that, that also brings up the question of what is really happening? Are these girls slowly being taken out of this group? Is this still kind of, I don't know if you've ever watched the Blackpink documentary about how these K-pop groups are normally founded. But really what normally happens is that they go through these, I don't want to say challenges, but they get put in different groups with different girls throughout their time being a trainee, and then they figure out what girl group is the best. So is HYBE getting ready to launch a new girl group with other members? KATSEYE just seems like a mess. And it really seems like this Geffen x HYBE or HYBE x Geffen experiment is not going as well as they thought it would. And it's really sad. Because obviously we want these girls to heal and be safe and be able to follow their dreams in a safe way. But when you have 2 girls on hiatus, it's like insane. And then the bigger question brings up when and if Sophia comes back. One of the questions is Sophia going to come back? Because this is something that we've been told about. And this time, Geffen x HYBE was more prepared because they had Sophia go on a podcast and talk about, her mental state and everything like that on the podcast. So they were ready more for this going to happen because they went through it with Manon and there was nothing showing that she was struggling. Now they're like, okay, we gotta show that there's a struggle going on or no one's going to believe us. But then the bigger thing is that there's still an issue here that we're just not focusing on. And we see this with Ariana Grande and with other girls and celebrities. There is no protection. And when these groups started, if you watch Dream Academy, you know that there was some cattiness and whatever that went on in a group. That doesn't usually happen. I mean, like, it happens in the K-pop world, but like usually that shit is put a stop to it. The problem is when you bring in different ethnicities and different cultures, you have to adjust for that. HYBE and Geffen thought that they could bring in new girls from all over the world, not adjust to that, and then change the original format, which was the original K-pop format, turn it on its head and turn it into a competition show. I don't know why they did that. I mean, honestly, I don't think Manon would have made it. I don't know. But it created this confrontation with the girls that happened because of it. And you see it in that docuseries that the girls start getting frustrated with Manon because they feel like she's not there enough and she's not working hard enough and she's getting all the likes. So you created this thing that's supposed to be a group mentality. And then you ruined the group mentality of it. That was obvious going to happen. And now with Sophia, we are kind of left to wonder, is this something wrong inside of the group? Is there really all this infighting that they've been talking about? They've been talking about Danielle and her being a mean girl and Lara and some of Lara being a mean girl. Is this really what's going on? Or, we just don't know. And I think that's the worst part about all of this is we just honestly and truly do not know. And we're stuck trying to figure it out because HYBE and Geffen haven't done a good enough job explaining it to us. It just looks like everything is falling apart at the seams. And that's not what I wanted for this group. I was so excited for this group as a lover of K-pop. Blackpink is one of my top tiers. And it just feels like this project they didn't really invest into. They didn't really think it through. And they are really struggling. And some people are saying the girls are dropping like flies. And that's really sad. I don't want that. The other issue is that if and when they bring Sophia back from her hiatus, they're gonna have to explain Minot. They're gonna have to give some reasoning for why Minot is still gone. And we've seen it talked about now at the premiere of the documentary movie that they're in. We've seen it recently when they done a visit with a little girl and she asked about Manon. There's no good answer. And the girls are getting sick. Maybe they're not able to handle it at this capacity. Maybe there's infighting. Maybe there's a lot of drama going on. And if you know, in the K-pop world, they keep everything like tight and shut down. So maybe there's a lot of shit we're just not seeing, but it's starting to become chaotic. Speaking of chaotic, our next two topics are joined together. In the last couple of weeks, we got the trailer for Children of Blood and Bone. Originally I reported that Tomi Adeyemi made a statement, said that she's not going to support the project. She doesn't want to talk about the project, blah, 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 blah. Trailer comes out. Trailer looks fucking amazing. I want to watch the movie. I've not read the book. I've not been that interested in the series, mostly because it's been really hyped up. And I'm really weird about books. And I spend a lot of time reading like unhyped books now. So I spend a lot of time reading indie author books, obviously. And I don't know. Now I kind of want to read the book because the trailer looked so fire and it looks so good. It's so star-studded. I was telling people, if you haven't been following it, it has Regina King. It has let me just look it up. It has Amanda Stenberg, Jameson Idris, Thuso Mbedu, Cynthia Erivo, Viola Davis, Idris Elba, Arya Starr, Chitwell Ejiofor. Like, the cast is fucking loaded with people that I personally love in the acting sphere. Like, I love Viola Davis. There's almost nothing that Viola Davis could do that I would hate at this point. And I wasn't a big follower of Cynthia Erivo before Wicked, but since Wicked, been a big fan. And so the movie just looks, it's magic and it's African culture, although there's been a lot of comments about how Tomi didn't do a lot of research into the African culture. And I don't think that's true. To be clear, I think that she probably did do a lot of research, but there's only so much research you can do to understand a culture while not being in that culture. That's my take on it. Fourth Wing has instances where it doesn't really dive into that culture that it's supposed to be diving into as much as it should, but there's only so much you can do without having the lived experience of that culture. But the trailer is fantastic. The trailer, beautiful, the colors, the cinematography looks amazing. I love costume design. Costume design looks fantastic. It really does seem like a well put together movie. And it's directed by, let me see. The director is the director who directed Woman King. And it's Gina Price Blythewood. And she's also the co-writer in all of this. And so it's just this feels like a movie for us, specifically us who don't see each other or see ourselves a lot in the African American world, where we're expected to be some way. We're not expected to look or think, or fantasy isn't for us. And, all these things. It's a space that was made for us. And then you get this just after all of the, kind of talk and everything died down. Tomi Adeyemi comes out and makes a video. Now I watched this video. I can tell you the video doesn't say much. I think that someone summed it up pretty well about, basically it says that filming this movie, being on the set while the movie was being filmed, was traumatic for her. She's had panic attacks. She's left the set visibly shaking. She thinks that it's not just who we think it is that's the issue. There are people who are higher up that she found to be the issue, and she no longer wants to think about the movie. She's not going to see the movie. She's not going to promote the movie. When you see this video, though, I don't want to say it feels performative, because that is speculation. And we don't know what's going on. But it did feel as if, why are we getting this video if we aren't really getting any answers? And some people say, oh, well, it's because there's an NDA involved. She can't really speak on everything. Totally fair. But are we owed answers? Maybe not. But do we deserve some answers? Kind of. We want to know what's going on, because we want to know how to move. If we don't support this movie, what does that do to us and our Black culture? But if we do support this movie and there was abusive behavior happening on set, what does that mean for African American culture? And that's the like really crazy part. And all of this is, it's a lose-lose situation for us. And a lot of people I've seen on the media don't know what to do, and are frustrated that there is no clear path through it. And there's no clear answers. And I've said this before, and I've said it on podcasts with other people. I do think a part of this, and it has been from professionals. Some people have said something like, I was on the set of, and it was really crazy. But also, it's being said once again, did she really understand what she was getting into when she was making this piece from a book into a movie, and understanding that industry? And I've said it before, I don't think she did. So many people don't understand that in that specific industry, the person that is in control is the producers, not the writers, not the directors, the producers, not even the stars. I mean, bigger stars do get a say, but I watched a really beautiful video about how when it becomes a project that's out of your hands, when it's a book, you first have to, you write it, and that's your story. Now, if you publish indie, other than like small changes, if you work with a developmental editor, that's your book. If you decide to go and work with a publisher, they do get a piece. They do get a say now. And this is important. They get a say now because they're paying for it. They're fronting the money. And as much as it sucks, that's the truth. They're fronting the money, so they want to make sure that the money that they're putting up is going to give them money back. That is the whole way that a producer works. They always want to make sure that the money that they're putting up not only is going to give them back money, but is going to earn them so much more money. If they don't feel that way, if they feel like some of the things that you have in your book or whatever aren't going to make the money, they back out. This is the same with film. So now we're adding another layer. Those film producers are, first of all, putting way more money into this movie than any production book company would. Because this movie is gorgeous and beautiful, and it had to have cost millions of dollars. When someone is spending millions of dollars to make a movie, they're going to want to make the movie that they think is successful. This is why there's a difference between indie and big publishing in all art. There's a reason why there's indie films, because indie films usually are films that have more meaning. They may not have as much funding, but they're not as controlled, although they are still controlled by the producers. But the bigger you up, the more money they put up, the more control they're going to want to have over this project. So it has been rumored that maybe Tomi just didn't understand that. Maybe it wasn't communicated. Maybe she thought that she was going to have more power. And maybe she was fighting fights that were never going to win for her. And we don't know. I think it's a little bit of both. The film industry is not the best industry to be in. You have to go into it understanding that. You have to be, your eyes can't be shielded. I was a film major and I was just so like rose colored glasses when I went to it, thinking that this is going to be great. This is going to be amazing. I love this. And then I started learning about the industry and I walked away from the industry. I didn't walk away from the industry because I didn't think I could cut it. I didn't walk away from the industry because I thought that, I was not going to be good enough. I walked away from the industry because it was volatile, because it was hostile, because I learned that as a woman, I didn't have rights. And that I had to accept being hit on. This was before Me Too. I had to accept being hit on. I learned that if I wanted to get in as a screenwriter, I would have to go work my butt off and then pay for execs to go to lunch. Even though they make more money than me, I have to pay for them for a lunch that's going to take up a week of my pay. I learned so many things and I'm appreciative that I learned it. And I'm appreciative that I had a professor who explained to me what it was really going to be like. I appreciate that more than anything because then I was able to make an informed decision that no, the fuck, this is not for me. And I'm okay with that. I made that informed decision and I'm happy with my decision that I made because it really, truly wasn't the fuck for me. I don't know if Tomi went in knowing that. I don't know if she knew what that industry was really going to be like. And also, I think that she thought, especially because she co-wrote the screenplay, that she was going to have more power and say, and she didn't. And as sad as that is, and that's immensely sad, that is Hollywood. There are directors that you think have say that don't have say. And that's shown throughout, if you pay attention, that's shown throughout TV, film, all of it. All of it. And so, is it sad? Yeah. I'm upset. I'm going to be honest. To be real, I don't want to bash Black women, but if I kind of got to give it how I take it. I've bashed Black men for their poor behavior. I don't like this that Tomi Adeyemi did. I don't like the way that she's moving because it did feel performative, and that might just be me in the way that I'm receiving it because I have weird receptors on people being sad. That's like my own trauma, so I admit that. It just felt forced. It felt weird for it to come right off the trailer. And then at the end, when she plugs in buying the books and supporting her new projects, from what I understand, she still profits off of this movie being made. So it's just confusing. Maybe we've never seen anything like this before, and we're just trying to figure out why. I don't know. Let me know, you guys, if you're going to watch the movie, if you're not going to watch the movie, and why you guys made that decision. But we're going to get into our next topic, and we're going to recap some cool stuff. Quick interruption before we get back to the chaos. You know how every recommendation list somehow ends up being the exact same books? Yeah, we're not doing that. That's why I opened Blake's Indie Author Bookstore, an online bookstore dedicated to indie authors and the stories that deserve a whole lot more attention. I spend my time finding books from independent authors so you don't have to scroll for hours hoping that the algorithm gets it right. Whether you're looking for romance, fantasy, sci-fi, thriller, or something that completely surprises you, there's a good chance your next favorite book isn't sitting on the front table of a big box bookstore. It's sitting in an indie author's catalog waiting to be discovered. So if you're ready to read outside the bestseller bubble, visit Blake's Indie Author Bookstore and see what you have been missing. Because around here, indie stories find their readers. So, quick question. Have you ever opened your to-do list, looked it dead in the face, and then immediately decided that reorganizing your desktop, deep diving on YouTube, or starting a completely unrelated side quest was actually the better life choice? Yeah, same. And that's exactly why this week on Basically Unbothered, we're talking about something that doesn't yell at you to wake up at 5 a.m. or just be more disciplined like some productivity drill sergeant. We're talking about A Pinch of Productivity, the secret sauce for motivation by Don Turner. Because instead of shaming you into being productive, it gives you the pinch framework: pressure, interest, novelty, challenge, and humor. Translation: you're not lazy, your brain is just bored. This is about learning how to work with your brain instead of fighting it so you can actually finish the things you keep putting off without turning your life into a boot camp montage. So if your motivation bar has been sitting at low HP for a little too long, go check out A Pinch of Productivity wherever books are sold. And maybe, just maybe, we'll finally finish one task before starting 5 new ones. We're talking about Ariana Grande's new album. If you have not listened to Ariana Grande's new album, I would like for you to exit stage right, left, whichever one. Get the fuck off the stage. Cause this album is everything. Now, if you guys remember when Hate That I Made You Love Me came out, it's like, I don't know how I feel about this. It's really ethereal and soft, and I don't know if that was a good, first song to be putting out, or single, that's the word. It was, because it set the tone for the entire album. And the entire album is just a giant fuck you to the industry. But there are also some really emotional stuff that when you look up the lyrics, because you have to look up the lyrics, which I enjoy. I think that it's an artistic choice. And it's about how, there's points where she says, "Can you hear me? Are you listening? I want someone to hear me." But her music is kind of muffled and a little bit over or under. Her music is over her audio. So it sounds like it's a little hard to hear. But when you understand the concept of the album, it makes sense. It feels like the industry drowning out the words and the truth that she's trying to say. A lot of people have said this is one of her most experimental albums that she's done since Sweetener. It got 4 stars on Rolling Stones. I'm gonna tell you, it's another amazing album. It's a definitely different Ariana Grande. And she said that this album was going to be a different Ariana Grande than we were used to. And she was absolutely correct. It is definitely a different Ariana Grande that we're used to, but I love it. So we're going to go through the tracks real quick. Kiss Me. It's not bad. I like it. It's a good opener. It's, like I said, it kind of sets the tone for what the album is about, right? Then you got Hate That I Made You Love Me, which we all know I love now. Petal, which was the next single. So good. I haven't seen the music video yet. I think I'm going to do the music video and watch it with you guys and see how I feel about that. But such a good song. But Stay, this is the first time, and not the first time. There's a lot of times on her album I don't like this. I like songs that aren't singles that are on the album. Stay is one of my favorite songs. Why don't you just stay? I don't have no voice this time. I love, 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 love Stay. I love it so much. And it feels like a lot of her album is supposed to not be about like a boy or anybody else, about her relationship to the media and everything, all of that. Stay felt like to me, I'm a runner. If something goes bad, if you're giving me too many emotions, peace out. If you're doing too much, peace out. If I feel like the energy is off, peace out. I don't work through it. I just say, fuck everything. I'm leaving. Is that the best thing to do? No. Is that what I do? Yes. So stay kind of felt like a moment where it's just, I don't want to run away from anything anymore. I don't want to try to escape what's going on in my life. I don't want to practice escapism. I really just want to stay in this moment in time. And that I felt to my core. I don't want to run. I really want to stay in this moment. And I feel that a lot, even in my own journey. You know, it's been a struggle. It's been a struggle recently. When you do this all by yourself, and I say it's all the time, you never know if it's good enough or if it's enough or if that's going to be the thing. And sometimes you get rejection and sometimes you get reminded that you're not where you want to be, right? For instance, I'm not getting book sales. That hurts because I want to, because I do aspire to be successful. That is something that I want. I want to do advocacy. I want to do all of that, but I do aspire to be successful. And normally when something continuously goes wrong in my life, I'm just like, it's not meant for me. I'm going to leave. But this time in this period of my life, I really want to stay. I want to see it through. I want to see if it can work, everything like that. I really, truly just want to stay in this moment. So I love that. Then OL, stay in OL together. I'm just on constant repeat, those two. OL is my shit. If you saw my Instagram story, you knew. I literally just say it to my mom all the time. I go, good things can replace dysfunction, obsession, friends I used to need, but now. I love that fucking song. I listen to it all the time. And then I was getting ready yesterday for an event that ended up being postponed, and that was a whole different story. Check my Instagram for that. But I'm just like dancing to the dance break. Like I fucking love that song. Big Feelings is great. Freak starts to get into something, and I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but it started to feel like a relationship with like depression, ideations, self-harm, things like that. And then it comes right after warning signs, which to me like enhances that thought because she's saying, can someone hear me? Can you guys hear me? Can you see me? Can you feel me? I'm here. The warning signs are here and you're not looking. And yes, especially coming off of Freak, where she's basically saying, you guys are weird. Why do it to me, it felt like, what's one of the lines? Let me look it up. There is, someday all the seas will open. All of the life I've been denied of will bloom all around, unfrozen. How will it feel? How will it feel? And then the chorus goes, I won't give you your fantasy this time. No, I won't do what you say, freak, anytime. What can you give me now? And for some reason that feels like suicide and ideations and things like that. So one of the things that it says in verse 2 is wake me when all this is over. I know too much for now. Will them and their poison ever sober? I don't know her. It's just really sad. And then it goes into lost without your life. I can't leave your side. It's so peculiar. Won't you stay a while? Can't imagine life without you in. It's human nature, so I can't leave you now. It's just, that one feels really sad to me. And then that immediately leads into warning signs. I might have to switch to it on my phone because my everything is just like mad at me now. So it goes into warning signs, and even that feels really, really sad when you look at it and listen to it. Blind half the time, I run through all your warning signs. I wonder why I answer each time you call me when your number slides. And does it even make a sound? My pain is music. Do You Hear Me Now? Oh, sorry, Do You Hear Me Everywhere? And then we get into Wear Me Like Your New Tattoos, and Yet Your Favorite Muse Just Simply Disappears. Monday I Got You All Over Me. You Love Me Like Ecstasy. Make Me See Colors I Haven't Seen for a While. But Friday You're Suddenly Ghosting Me. My Wyndham Has Fled the Scene. My voice plays in a taxi passing by. And it says, You don't deserve me. You know, you don't. You never have. But I want you to feel me. I wish someone could hear me. That feels like such a cry. And for the girlies who get it, get it. Those who don't. But that, you know, with Freak seems like the most personal of all the songs, the most like painful of all the songs in the album, personally to me. Then we get to Like I Do. There's a tweet, not a tweet, a thread, and it was like, I don't know whether to laugh, smile, cry, or twerk while listening to Ariana Grande's new album. And yeah, I feel you, because I fucking don't know either. Which one are we supposed to do, Mama Grande? Because Like I Do just makes me like I want to like throw my ass in a circle real quick. I can't even throw my ass in a circle. I'm gonna throw my ass in a circle real quick, but at the same time, just like, you need me like I you, cause no one fucks you like I. It's just like fucking cunty. Like, yes. And then we get into Never Got Over Me, which to me, it feels like we play back and forth with her relationship with like herself, the publicity, the media, and then we come back to the media again, and then we're gonna go back to herself again. And it's just like this back and forth that I really love. And we get Never Get Over Me, which truly loved. And then Bad Thing Bunny Hop. Somebody said that Bad Thing Bunny Hop was a song for Sagittariuses. And as someone who, we're unbothered bunnies, guys. Like, we have an unbothered bunny t-shirt. I'll fucking take it. I love it. Sure. Let us be that. I will 100% be that. And then the last one, which is one of my big favorites, is Nowhere Nobody. I was so emotional. I was laying in my bed and I want to like, I was laying in my bed. I can't bring you down. I was laying in my bed like so, and I'm just like so emotional, so fucking emotional, just laying in my bed. I almost fell. No. Can we do it? Can we do it? Will it save me? Okay. There we go. We're laying in our bed and I'm just like, the whole world sucks. I'm so sad. I'm so depressed. All these things are happening to me. And I'm like, I'm just going to listen to Nowhere Nobody on repeat. And it didn't disappoint. Let me just say that. It didn't disappoint. This album is a big, just like, it didn't fucking disappoint kind of album. I'm so thankful that we have it. I'm so thankful that she gave it to us, that this another beautiful piece of work art is something that we have. So immensely fucking grateful for it. And do I have the vinyl? Absolutely. I'll share a picture of me and the vinyl on the social medias because I love it. Did I get it from Target or Amazon? No. I actually went to a record store, UHF, in Royal Oak, Michigan, and I got my record because I like to support indie. I have an indie business. I read indie author books. I like to support indie. I do want to get into indie music. So if you guys know any indie music that you would like me to review, I'm not a big music critic, so don't get mad at me for my reviews. But if you have indie music that you want me to review, let me know. As far as this album, I don't even know how to rate it. I want to give it 5 stars, even though it feels so different from all the other albums that I've given 5 stars. But the fact that I listen to it consistently, like it's my Bible, probably means that I should just fucking give it 5 stars. So I recommend everybody listen to it. It's just a vibe to me. I'm so happy. I love having it. I love the music being out there. It makes me feel seen. It makes me want to cry. Um, for her and for myself. And I always tell you, there's like certain artists that just come, their music just comes to me at the right time, right when I need it. One of them is Jhené Aiko. Another of them is Ariana Grande. Her music just finds me right when I need it. And I think this song, while I'm taking a month off and healing, found me right when I needed it. So I'm so, so grateful for it. I am probably going to continue to listen to it on repeat. I'm trying not to, because when you do that, when you have ADHD, then you don't ever want to hear it again. So I'm trying not to do that. But it's embedded in my brain. And I posted on Threads, what in the sound healing did Ariana Grande put in this? I have no idea. But Matcha's almost done. And so are we. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Basically Unbothered. Thank you guys, all of you who support me throughout all of these journeys. It means so fucking much to me. You guys will never know. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. There's so many amazing things to come along this journey. We got new subscribers, paid subscribers. I'm going to work on some special things for you guys. And just enjoy the vibe. Enjoy the August of it all, because we're about to get into spooky season. Thank you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Gabby Gabs Podcast.